Breaking down the governor's race, Rika and Ron, taking a look at where things stand right now. A double-digit lead for the governor, 55% to 44%. And talk to us about these numbers, Bob.
Well, we probably have over half the vote cast, maybe as close to 60%. And of course, we're now seeing the vote coming from other areas other than the big metroplexes. And this 11-point spread is probably going to grow. It's quite possible the governor will win by a margin like he matched in 2018. 13 points, maybe even higher. Again, I think what you're seeing here is not a question of whether, it's just simply the margin. What I find interesting is I would have thought some of the down ballot candidates like Patrick and of course Paxson would be beginning to run behind. But
Patrick right now at 55%.
He's running about the same as of course, maybe a fewer number of votes. He's getting 2.5 to the 3.1 million.
Interesting.
But the margin's still the same. And then let's look at Paxson. Paxson the same.
54%.
He's running. He's getting. You know what's happening basically is the governor's getting more votes, but the margins are about the same. Now, just remember, this doesn't mean anything. This is what matters. And Paxson and the virtual Republican ticket will be reelected.
So again, let's take a big look at the state from a big picture view. Again, 55 to 44. But if you look back at 2018, the Senate race where O'Rourke did well, he did well on the border. And of course, he took Harris County. He also took Tarrant County. And that's a county we've been watching tonight. Again, This is the 218 map.
I think what's important here is our map tells us who's winning and who's losing, a little darker by margins. But what's important here in 218 is that this is where O'Rourke did extremely well. If you go to 2020, you'll see that, again, it's still where he's doing well. But when we get to canvas, I think what you're going to see is Republicans may not be winning these counties, but they're getting more votes. And you can draw congressional districts, you can't redraw counties.
And that's what we're seeing there.
And we're
still
seeing
these counties on the border leaning blue.
We're seeing if you can redraw congressional districts, you can bleed some voters from San Antonio down into the valley, you can win at least one of those 3 seats.
And if we have some time, let's take a look nationally at the balance of power and how things might be shifting in the U.S. Senate. We've been watching this race all night, the race in Georgia for Senate. Walker 49%, Warnock the incumbent 49%, very, very close in Georgia tonight.
And the significant number here is 2%. If this holds up through the night, there will be a runoff in January. Neither Warnock nor Walker will win. I think the other one you want to look at and that would be a loss for the Democrats, but look at this race. Fetterman, with almost 60% of the vote, is holding on to a 4-point lead. That's a little bit of a surprise. I thought it'd be closer. I did think Fetterman would win, but that'll be a pickup for the Democrats.
Right.
So when we go to bed
tonight,
tonight,
was an open seat.
It's an open seat. It was held by, but most importantly, it was held by a Republican.
Right.
And what you're going to see now is you're going to have to probably wait for Nevada. Ohio, which was really not a big toss-up, is clearly going to be no gain. The Republicans, it was an open seat, but the Republicans held it. So if you go to New Hampshire, for instance, where we thought that the incumbent Hassan would possibly be beaten, she's now running up a nice lead of 9 points on her opponent.
Yeah, that's been a comfortable lead in New Hampshire throughout the night we've seen.
So where if the Republicans are going to win tonight, are they going to do it? They're going to do it in Nevada, which we won't know until very late, and they'll probably have to also wait for Arizona, where of course Kelly is running against the Republican, and many think that's also a cliffhanger.
All right, and that is a look at the balance of power, 42 right now to 41 in the U.S. Senate. It's something we'll be watching throughout the night. We'll send it back to you.